You set them down on that cute little playmat, you step back, and within 3 seconds, cue the siren.
Oh, the faceplant of despair. And the wailing.
Exactly. And suddenly you're looking at your watch, sweating, thinking, it's been 10 seconds. How am I supposed to do this for 20 minutes? Welcome to the Rising Parent Podcast, where we help families move from constant questioning to confidence, grace, and success. Today's episode is 5 fun tummy time activities for infants who hate it. I'm Tim.
And I'm Edna. And if you are in those early sleep-deprived months right now, crying right alongside your baby during tummy time, take a deep breath. We've got you.
We really do. Before we dive into today's topic, we want to remind you that new episodes of the Rising Parent Podcast drop every Monday and Friday. So whether you're commuting, washing bottles, or finally drinking that cold cup of coffee, we're here with you twice a week.
Absolutely. And we also want to mention that we created this podcast not only to help families thrive, but also to raise funding for our nonprofit mobile food bank, Selfless Outreach. If you want to learn more or support the cause, you can visit selflessoutreach.org.
It's a mission that is incredibly close to our hearts. All right, Edna, let's talk about the dreaded tummy time.
Let's get started.
Yes. It's funny. When we do our coaching sessions with parents of newborns, like that 1 to 6 month window, this is easily in the top 3 most stressful topics. They come to us completely frazzled because the pediatrician says, make sure you're getting that tummy time in for their motor milestones, and parents hear that as a strict, non-negotiable pass or fail assignment. And because we've both spent over 2 decades as licensed child care professionals and certified parenting coaches, we know that effective parenting is a learned skill. But the thing is, nobody really teaches you how to do tummy time if the baby hates it.
Exactly. And there is no one-size-fits-all approach. I remember we were doing a coaching session with a mom. Let's call her Chloe. Sweetest mom, but she was just exhausted. She literally told me, Edna, I feel like I'm torturing my own child. The second his chest hits the floor, he screams like I've betrayed him.
The betrayal. It's so real to them.
It is. And Chloe was so worried he was going to fall behind on his newborn physical development. She was stressing about his core strength, his neck control, preventing the flat spot on the back of his head, all of it. And I told her, Chloe, tummy time doesn't have to look like a baby lying flat on a rug while you stare at a timer.
Which brings us perfectly to our first activity, or rather, our first perspective shift on what tummy time actually is, because activity number 1 is baby wearing and chest-to-chest time.
Yes. Oh my goodness, this is a game changer.
It really is. I think there's this massive misconception that tummy time only counts if your baby is parallel to the floor on a playmat. But biomechanically speaking, if your baby is on your chest and they have to lift their heavy little head against gravity to look at your face, that is tummy time.
Absolutely. Think about the baby wearing aspect, too. When you have your baby in a structured carrier or a wrap and you're walking around doing your daily routines, they are upright, their core is engaged, and they are constantly making micro adjustments with their neck and back muscles.
I remember a little guy we had in the daycare infant room a few years back. Let's call him Leo. Leo was a staunch opponent of the floor.
Oh, he was the president of the anti-floor club.
He really was. If you put him down, it was immediate distress. But we found that if we just reclined back in the rocking chair, right? Just leaned back maybe 45 degrees and placed him chest to chest, he was totally fine. He'd lift his head, look around, babble, because he felt safe. He was getting that skin-to-skin closeness, that sensory regulation from feeling a heartbeat, and yet he was still getting an incredible neck and shoulder workout.
That's the beauty of it. You're incorporating it into a daily routine. If you're a parent listening to this right now and your infant is just not having the floor, lean back on your couch, put them on your chest, talk to them. It 100% counts, and it saves everyone from tears.
Exactly. Okay, so what if you do want to transition them to the floor eventually? Because eventually they do need to learn to push up and roll. That leads us to activity number 2, which is one of my absolute favorites, the water mat distraction.
Oh, water mats are magic.
They really are. If you haven't seen these, they're basically thick, durable plastic mats that you fill with water, and they usually have little foam sea creatures floating inside.
Right, and the reason babies who hate tummy time suddenly tolerate it on a water mat is the sensory feedback. When they're flat on a regular carpet, it's boring, right? It's static. But with a water mat, every time they wiggle or squirm, the water shifts beneath them. The temperature is slightly cool. The little fish move around. It's entirely captivating.
It's that beautiful element of distraction. We talk about this a lot when we work with families on behavioral challenges, too. Sometimes you just have to break the negative feedback loop. If the baby associates the floor with, "Oh no, this is hard work and I hate it," you have to introduce a novel stimulus.
Yes, and going back to Leo from the daycare, once we had built up his neck strength with the chest-to-chest time, we introduced the water mat. And I remember the first time we put him on it, he did that initial gasp, like he was about to start crying, but then his hand smacked the mat and the water rippled.
He just stopped.
He just stopped. He was so confused, but in a good way. He spent a solid 4 minutes just patting the mat, totally forgetting he was on his tummy. 4 minutes for a baby who usually cried at 3 seconds is a massive victory.
Huge victory. And if you don't want to buy a water mat, that perfectly segues into activity number 3, DIY sensory bags.
Oh, I love a good DIY. We have a family we work with right now. Let's call them the Jenkins family. They have a 4-month-old, and they were on a super tight budget. So buying fancy developmental toys wasn't really in the cards, but they wanted to try the distraction method.
So what did they do?
They took a gallon-sized, heavy-duty Ziploc bag. They squirted a whole bottle of cheap, clear hair gel from the dollar store into it, dropped in some googly eyes, some big chunky glitter, and a few bright plastic buttons. They sealed it up, and here's the crucial part, folks. They used heavy-duty packing tape to tape all 4 edges securely to the floor.
Safety first. You definitely don't want a ruptured gel bag in a baby's mouth.
Absolutely. Tape it down flat on the floor. Then they laid the baby down so his hands and face were right over the bag. It works just like the water mat, but the resistance of the thick hair gel is incredibly satisfying for little hands to squish.
That's brilliant. And it's so visually engaging. When babies are 1 to 6 months old, their vision is still developing rapidly. High-contrast items, shiny things like glitter, they naturally want to track those with their eyes. So if they're looking down at this squishy, shiny bag, they are inherently going to lift their chest to get a better view or reach out to smack it.
Exactly. They're building those gross motor skills without even realizing they're working out. It's like when we trick ourselves into exercising by playing a sport instead of running on a treadmill.
Right. You're not doing cardio, you're just playing pickleball. Same concept. I'm not doing tummy time, I'm just squishing googly eyes.
Precisely.
Okay, so we've got baby wearing, water mats, and sensory bags. Activity number 4 is all about changing the angle. We call it the incline prop.
Yes, this is a lifesaver for babies with reflux, too.
Oh, absolutely. So one of the main reasons babies hate tummy time is because their heads are disproportionately huge compared to their bodies.
It's true. They're like little bobbleheads.
They are. So when you put them flat on the floor, gravity is working against them at maximum capacity. It is incredibly exhausting for them to lift that giant melon up. But if you change the incline, you change the center of gravity, and you make it physically easier for them.
Right. So how we do this, and we used to do this all the time in the daycare, we would take a nursing pillow like a boppy, or even just a tightly rolled up receiving blanket. You place it under the baby's chest, making sure their arms are propped forward over the top of the roll.
Right, their armpits are sort of resting on the roll, arms forward.
Exactly. This lifts their upper body an inch or 2 off the ground. Suddenly, they don't have to strain as hard to look around. Their field of vision opens up. They can actually see the room instead of just a mouthful of carpet.
I was doing a coaching session recently with a dad, Marcus. Marcus was the stay-at-home parent, and he was getting so frustrated because his daughter would just face plant and refuse to even try to lift her head. I suggested the rolled-up towel trick. The next week, he was ecstatic. He said, "Tim, the towel changed everything," because she finally felt supported. It gave her the mechanical advantage she needed to start building the muscle memory.
And as they get stronger, you just use a thinner and thinner towel until eventually they don't need it at all. It's scaffolding. We use scaffolding in behavioral coaching all the time, and it applies perfectly to physical development too. You meet them where they are and slowly remove the support as they gain confidence.
I love that connection, scaffolding. It really is all about meeting the child where they are.
Okay, so we have one more activity, and this one is arguably the most powerful because it taps into the social-emotional aspect of development. Activity number 5, the eye-level connection, or mirror play.
Yes, because let's be honest, the floor is a lonely place.
It really is. Imagine if someone just laid you face down on the ground and then stood 6 feet above you staring down at you. You'd feel isolated.
And probably a little annoyed.
Highly annoyed. Babies are incredibly social creatures. In those early months, their favorite thing to look at in the entire world is a human face, especially their parent's face.
So if you want them to tolerate tummy time, you have to get down on the floor with them.
Right down to their level, face to face.
We had a couple in our coaching sessions. Let's call them David and Elena. They were trying to get their 3-month-old to do tummy time, and they'd lay him down and sit on the sofa next to him, and he'd just cry. We told them, you have to get on your bellies too. And the moment David got down on the rug, nose to nose with his son, making silly noises, singing songs, the baby's whole demeanor shifted. He was struggling, sure, but he was locking eyes with his dad, and that social connection motivated him to keep his head up.
It's the ultimate distraction. And if you're a parent who is by yourself during the day and you can't be on the floor for 20 minutes, use an unbreakable floor mirror.
Oh, babies love mirrors.
They are obsessed with themselves. They don't even know it's them yet. They just think, wow, who is this extremely cute baby copying my every move?
It's so true. Prop a baby-safe mirror right in front of them during tummy time. Or better yet, combine the techniques. Put the rolled-up towel under their chest and prop a mirror in front of them. Now they have physical support and visual engagement.
It's a recipe for success. And you can also incorporate this into your daily routines, like after a diaper change. You've already got them on the changing table, which, by the way, always keep a hand on your baby, but you can flip them onto their tummy for just 30 seconds while you're right there face to face before you pick them up. Frequent short bursts are just as effective as one long, agonizing session.
Yes, that is such an important point, Edna. Tummy time compliance isn't about setting a stopwatch for 20 continuous minutes. If you do 2 minutes here, 3 minutes there, 5 minutes on your chest, it all adds up over the course of the day.
Absolutely. Give yourself some grace. Give your baby some grace. They are navigating a brand new body, and it's hard work.
It really is. All right, let's do a quick recap of our key takeaways for today's deep dive.
Go for it.
Number 1, baby wearing and chest-to-chest time count. Tummy time doesn't have to be on the floor. Get comfortable on the couch, lean back, and enjoy that skin-to-skin bonding.
Number 2, use water mats for sensory distraction. The shifting water and cool temperature can break the negative association with being on their belly.
Number 3, DIY sensory bags. Grab a gallon Ziploc, cheap hair gel, some glitter, and tape it securely to the floor. It gives their eyes and hands something fascinating to focus on.
Number 4, the incline prop. Use a rolled-up blanket or a nursing pillow under their chests to change their center of gravity and make lifting their heavy little heads a bit easier.
And number 5, eye-level connection and mirrors. Get down on the floor with them. Face-to-face interaction or a baby-safe mirror provides the social motivation they need to push through the hard work. Remember, short bursts throughout the day are perfectly fine.
I love that. So practical. And hopefully this takes a huge weight off the shoulders of the parents listening right now.
That's always our goal. Well, that brings us to the end of today's episode.
If you found value in this episode, we have a quick favor to ask. Please subscribe to the Rising Parent Podcast wherever you get your podcasts and leave us a 5-star review. It really helps other parents find the show.
Absolutely, and we are here for you twice a week, so don't forget that new episodes of the Rising Parent Podcast drop every Monday and Friday.
And finally, as we mentioned at the top of the show, we created this podcast to help families and to raise funding for our nonprofit mobile food bank, Selfless Outreach. If this episode helped you today, please consider paying it forward by donating. Just go to selflessoutreach.org and hit the donate button. Every single donation helps Selfless Outreach serve the underserved in our communities.
Thank you all so much for hanging out with us today. You're doing a great job even on the hard days. We'll see you next time.
Bye, everyone.